You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Looking forward to today's Weight Loss and Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to share with you how to survive the holidays without feeling bloated, burnt out, or overburdened. And easier said than done, right? So I understand that I've got a big mountain to climb here for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this step by step and show you how you can really enjoy the holidays this year. You really can, without totally getting overstressed and not getting sick either. That's a big thing. We don't like to talk about that, but a lot of times we feel a little run down, which leads to those sniffles, which then leads to the chest congestion. And then that takes away from our overall energy and vitality through the holidays. So what I want to do is I want to start right away with our main core thing that we need to be doing during this holiday season. So we basically have 30 days of social gatherings and taking the family out and celebrating and eating richer foods, all of these things. That's what we have to contend with. And then we have the stress of buying gifts for people and then, making sure we're to the parties on time and the social events and all of those different things. So the most important thing, and again, the first one's going to be really basic, right? But we'll get into a little bit more depth. But the first thing that we need to be doing that's really important, that is our overall barometer of how much stress we're going to be able to handle, is our sleep. And here's the big thing. When we're going out to these holiday parties and we're going out to dinners and those types of things, it can throw off our sleep schedule. One of the reasons is we're eating later at night. And when we're eating later at night, it turns on that energy to a much higher level, meaning like we're not supposed to be having a huge dinner at night, especially not after like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, when our bodies should be winding down. But here's the thing. Even if that is happening, we need to make sure we're getting adequate sleep. And I'll give you some nutrition tips in just a moment. But with sleep, well, what does sleep really mean? It means that you ideally are getting about 1 hour of sleep for every 2 waking hours. And again, it's a general-based philosophy, just like you should be getting a half an ounce of water. You should be getting 1 ounce of water for half your body weight in pounds, right? So I've said that before. That to make that a little easier, usually if you're 160 pounds, well, then you're going to get about 80 ounces of water per day. And that translates to about 10 glasses for a 160-pound person. Now, some people, they'll need more minerals in that, right? If it's more of the ectomorph body type or the low blood pressure type. So there's so many different caveats to that, but it's the same with sleep. The endomorph body type, which is a little bit more robust, a little stronger, better immunity, they usually need a little less sleep. But that ectomorph, that vata body type, well, they need more sleep. They need more like 8 to 9 hours, and the endomorph might need more like 7 to 8, and the pitta body type probably right in the middle, around 7.5 to 8 hours or so. So here's the thing though. How do we know how much sleep we need? Well, we usually never know until we are lacking it. So my big thing is this, is like try to, as best you can. Remember, you can't just catch up all in one day. Try, even if you're going out later at night, to get to bed as close as you can to around 10 o'clock. If 10 o'clock's not realistic, 11 p.m. has to be the goal. Now, maybe there's one night a week, maybe on the weekend that you're staying up a little later, maybe it's until midnight, whatever time it might be. Well, the goal should still be then, if possible, to stay in bed for 8 hours. Try to get 8 hours of sleep. Why am I saying sleep so important? It is a buffer for all of the stress on life, meaning that when we are sleeping, we are then rejuvenating and rebuilding the body, which is why in Ayurvedic times, in traditional Chinese medicine, when they've talked about all these things, it was always showing like they have these body clocks that is now proven by science. And again, I'm going to do more shows on this in the future about circadian rhythm. My new book dedicates a whole chapter to this. But really, you have to be in bed ideally from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Those are some really great repair hours because shortly after that, around 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning is the very first time where melatonin is now starting to drop down and cortisol starting to slowly rise. So you want to take advantage of prime time repair hours, 10 and 2. Very, very important. You really won't hear that. And that's because in naturopathic medicine, basically in naturopathic medical school, they're not teaching that either because they're not looking to the ancient-based philosophies. naturopathic medical school, it's phenomenal. And again, I recommend if you want to become a naturopathic doctor, then fantastic. Like that is the path for you. But please still study the Ayurvedic. Please still study, traditional Chinese medicine, all the other forms of medicine. And if you're a health practitioner, same exact thing. I know a lot of people are getting into functional medicine, and I recommend that. I mean, that's something that I recommend. But also don't forget that it's not just about supplements in life, right? It's not just about lab testing, which are all phenomenal, but don't forget about the lifestyle part of it. That's the thing that's really, really important as well. So sleep is the time that we're repairing. It is our time where we're buffering all of that stress, that we're literally removing waste from the body and rebuilding tissue. So very, very important that we're doing that. Okay, another big thing. How can we survive this season without really stressing ourselves out, without getting too overburdened? I talk about this all the time in my practice. Is basically you set rules for your life, essentially. Okay, this many nights a week, I go to bed at this time. This is when I have lunch. I never skip this. I never do, so like you create these rules for yourself. Well, one thing during this holiday season could be as well as like, okay, you might get like 15 different invites to different social events and holiday parties and dinners out and all these different requests. And they're all great. And no one ever wants to say no. I totally understand that. But for your own sanity, for your own enjoyment of the holidays, you might want to say, okay, I'm willing to do 3 commitments maximum per week. Okay? 3 commitments, 3 nights out, 3 dinners, 3 whatever, drinks, whatever it might be. 3 commitments, that's it. But what I want you to do is just set a limit. Every night doesn't have to be a night out so that you just totally burn yourself out. It is your life. You are allowed to enjoy it as well. Now, if you love all these social events, then great. Then you're just going to simply take the nutrition tips that I give you, the exercise tips that I give you, the sleep tips that I give you as well in just a moment on the podcast as well. So here's the thing. I'm trying to do this in my own life. I'm trying to share it with you, and I've been sharing it with a lot of my private wellness clients as well. So I'm simply saying this is I'm not going to burn myself out this holiday season. I'm still working right up until the Friday before Christmas. Then I am going to take that week to really have a week of downtime with my family, which I'm really looking forward to as well. But at the same time, I don't want to just, work all the way up to and just go to all these events. I want to try to enjoy it this year. I really want to try to slow down my December as much as I can. I'm still going to work. Yes, I'm still going to do all the events that I have to. I want to spend more time with my 2 girls. I want to spend more time with my wife going out to dinner. I want to spend time at some like quiet house parties that I know that my friends are graciously hosting. I'm going to go to those, but I'm not going to go out to all the late night. I'm simply not going to do it. Meaning if there's an event that's going to take me until midnight, I'm just not going to do it. And again, you can say, well, that's selfish. That's this, that's that. Sometimes you have to be in life. You're not being a bad person. You're not being this. You're not being that. You simply can't say yes to everything in life. Okay. So I can still be a good person. And I'm telling you, you can still be a good person without saying yes to, and overcommitting yourself to everything in life. Okay. I think that's really, really important because if you are trying to be your best for a lot of people in your life, such as your family, your children, whoever your close circle is, it's hard to be your best at everything and at all times. When you're sleep deprived, when you're drinking, when you're eating all the worst foods, it's so difficult to do. And another thing I don't want to do is I don't want to get sick this holiday season. I want to be able to wake up early on all the holiday mornings and just get ready and just be up before everybody like I usually am, start my day, have my own quiet time, and then just totally dedicate my day to my family, to friends, to my work, to whatever it might be. And so that's really, really important to me as well. Now, again, this is my overall plan for myself. What I'm saying is I created rules for myself 3 times a week. That seems like a good number for me. I can handle that. And it's also not going to be a night before I'm seeing like wellness clients for a full day. So again, create your own rules. And you might not master it this holiday season, but just the act of trying it will allow you then to take that experience with you for next year as well. And I think that's really, really important. Okay, so now what else? Well, the other thing is if I'm going out to a holiday party, a house party, whatever it might be, if it's during the week, 9 p.m. And again, I know that maybe I seem like an old man, whatever it is. 9 p.m., I'm heading home because I know that I have to wake up the next morning probably at 5:30 a.m. Okay, so then that's late enough for me, all right? So then on the weekend, well, then the weekend could be a little bit later. But remember, I have 2 young girls and they're going to be up by probably 6:30 a.m. no matter what. So I need to make sure that I am up by 6, that I get a little time before them no matter what, okay? So again, I'm setting rules for me. They make sense for me. They may not for you. So maybe in the weekend, okay, I'm not going out any later than 11 p.m. All right? Like again, just different things that you have to look at in your life. Now, what about this though? In terms of the holiday weight gain. So many people, they get frustrated, they get upset. I've seen this in our Facebook group. It's a Facebook group that you're welcome to join. It's a support group. It's called cabralsupportgroup.com. We just look for positive people. That's it. Positive people who need maybe just a little bit of direction. They want to support others. That's what we're all about. So here's the thing. They're saying, like, how do I not gain the 6 pounds? Remember, 6 pounds is the average weight gain from Thanksgiving through Christmas or through the new year. And it's unfortunate. Here's why. Because you start January 1st with new weight that you just put on. I want people to start January 1st with a fresh slate, meaning that you just maintained your weight through the holidays. And I honestly believe that you can do that, is that you don't have to gain weight through the holidays. Really, really important. So, well, what do you do to not gain weight through the holidays? Here's the thing. You can do a couple different things. And this is what I'm going to recommend right now, is that the day that you're going out to a cheat meal or you're having drinks, well, what is a cheat meal? Let's just explain that. It simply means extra food that you wouldn't typically have, meaning like be pasta or bread or dessert, hors d'oeuvres, and things cooked in a lot of oil, high calorie, again, alcohol. All of those things would be times you say, okay, if I'm going to be doing that night, let's do a workout beforehand. Even if you're just getting home from work and you do 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of a workout, body weight exercises, squats, lunges, step-ups, deadlifts, push-ups, pull-ups, rows, any of those things. You could just do a circuit if you wanted to. 5-minute circuit, and you do that twice. Honestly, it's been proven, clinically proven, that will help you to better absorb glucose, better absorb sugar, and keep your blood sugar levels down, not gain as much body fat, and reduce inflammation. So why don't we do that? Let's do that. Let's plan that if we're going out that night, we do a workout that day. Because, again, even in type 2 diabetics, what they found is this: for a minimum of 8 hours after they did their workout, they were better able to utilize glucose in their diet. Really important. Now, we can use that is even with people who don't have type 2 diabetes. Really, really important. So that's one thing we can do. Another thing is this, and I've been using this actually with a lot of clients, because some people aren't willing to do what I just spoke about for the last 10 minutes. They're not willing to limit the holiday parties, they'll limit the nights out, they'll limit the alcohol, all of those things. Well, here's the thing. We have something that I highly recommend to you as well. It's called the 24-hour reset diet. And I say to them, okay, every Monday during the holidays for the month of December, I know that you might not be able to do a 7-day detox, although we have a lot of people in our group who are doing it, which I commend them for because it's the absolute best time of the year. Because again, then you're not starting with that extra weight gain and inflammation on January 1st. But here's the deal. For the people who aren't able to do that, I understand. And we say, okay, you're going to do the 24-hour reset diet. If you don't know what that is, simply go to stephencabral.com/podcast. Or why don't I try to link it up as well? I'll just put in my notes as well, 24-hour reset diet, because I want you to download the free PDF. Again, as much as we can, we really try to do, just give you the information, give you everything that you need. We create a PDF on this, but I'm going to give you the crux of it, is that you're not doing a full fast day, but you're doing a liquid fast day until dinner. So here's what you do. You simply wake up and you're going to do an all-in-one shake. We have the daily nutritional support shake. You're going to put in a scoop. You're going to shake it up. You're going to drink that with 20 ounces of water. So you hydrate your body. You push out the waste. You cleanse your liver. You get all that junk out of your body as best you can. And then for lunch, you do another shake, okay? And you do another scoop. And then mid-afternoon, you do another one. You're drinking so much water that you're hydrating your body, so you're not losing energy. You can still do that small cup of coffee if you need to in the morning so you don't get a headache. And then you're going to come home for at night at dinner, and you're going to have a clean dinner. Couple cups of vegetables, okay? You're going to use your olive oil after as a dressing. Now, cook in the olive oil. And then you're going to have your protein, vegan-based, vegetarian, paleo, whatever you decide. And then you're going to have some, again, the good healthy fat with it, whether it's avocado, the olive oil, great. Some people will be able to do a little bit of starch, a little sweet potato, or a little bit of yucca. Or if you're trying to keep the weight off, I recommend no starch that night, all right? You're just going to do your vegetables, you can do your protein, you're going to do your good fat. Have as many vegetables as you would like. And you're going to go to bed, and the next day, then you'll get back to your normal routine, which might be the smoothie in the morning or whatever you decide to do, okay? That's an easy way to just drop some of that inflammatory water weight just in 24 hours. It's called our 24-hour reset diet. It works phenomenally well. You can use it whenever you need to on a day that you just don't want to just fast the whole day, because you could. I mean, you could literally do a fast day with hot water with lemon or hot water with ginger. Or you could do bone broth if you wanted to. You know, whatever you choose to. That would work fine as well. I just like using the all-in-one shake, and the reason is it has all the vitamins and minerals, and it has protein that you need for the day that will help stabilize the blood sugar, because as we know, after a night of drinking, your blood sugar levels usually drop in the morning, causing you obviously to feel a little bit more tired and run down and brain fog, and then you look for sweets to basically raise that back up, and of course caffeine. So we can try to blunt that with that protein as well, and again, it's a vegan-based protein, really easy to assimilate and digest. But the other thing is the vitamins and the minerals will also help your body to better detoxify. some of that excess, breakdown of alcohol as well. So that's your choice, but that will help if you can't do, obviously, a full detox, okay? Maybe you're waiting till January 1st, the day after January 1st, or maybe you'll do it between Christmas and New Year's, whatever you decide. Again, that's the best time for you. Another thing that I really, really like during the holidays is this. If you know that you're going out to that bigger meal at night, well, if you know you're going out to the bigger meal at night, you're going to not skip meals during the day, okay? Because I don't want you famished at night so that you super overeat beforehand, but I want you to give your body lots of nutrition, okay? So in the morning, you might use the daily fruit and vegetable blend, which is the greens powder. Maybe use that mid-afternoon. You do a smoothie or so in the morning. I want you to make sure that you have a good lunch. Now, but you might not need as much starch during lunch, right? Because you're going to have a lot of that maybe at night. So maybe at night, it is easy to break down, baby leaves like spinach, something like that. Or you're doing the cooked vegetables. Maybe you're doing some hemp parts for your protein. You're doing some olive oil. Keep it light, right? Because you're trying to get a lot of fiber in, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of micronutrients. Maybe you're doing a green juice in the afternoon. No fruit in there, but you're just doing your greens like your juiced celery and cucumber, those types of things. So you're super hydrating your body. And then maybe an hour before you go out to that dinner, you're having a handful of nuts. And maybe the reason you're doing that with maybe your green juice is because you're trying to keep your body a little bit more satiated so that you don't overeat that night. That's a nice one too, because although not everyone does well with them, raw almonds or walnuts or some pecans or something like the Brazil nuts, it's a great one too, will allow you to get some fiber in, to kind of blunt that blood sugar again, make you feel a little bit more satiated so that you're not overeating. Maybe a fourth part to that, whatever number we're on, is more mindset based, meaning that you really can go out at night. You really can. And you can go out and you can have a great time with either no drinking or one drink, even if you're at a social event. Well, here's how, okay? So here's how. You could start the night off, just say, oh yeah, I'm going to grab a drink in a minute. I just want to, have some water first or whatever it might be. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a soda water, okay? You're going to do a squeeze of lime, as much lime as you want, and you're going to do a splash of cranberry, okay? So if you do that, or you can do a splash of pineapple, whatever you want, all right? So now it looks like you're carrying around an alcoholic beverage. It's refreshing because this isn't something that you typically do. And you're going to be able to then walk around with it, enjoy it, hydrate your body. And that keeps you now one less drink than you typically would have had. And you might find you're having such a good time that you don't need the alcohol that night. Maybe you're saving the alcohol for the weekend, right? So maybe one of your rules is, okay, no alcohol Monday through Friday, but I will on Friday night and Saturday night, or maybe it's one of those nights. Or you go out and say, okay, I'm going to do every other drink. So first drink's non-alcoholic, second drink can be alcoholic, third drink, I'm back to my soda water, cranberry, lime, fourth drink, whatever it might be. Not only are you going to hydrate your body, which your body will appreciate, but you'll cut down the amount of alcohol. So you're also going to sleep better that night. Because remember, alcohol may help you get to sleep, but it doesn't help you stay asleep, and it does not help you get into a deep, rejuvenating sleep, which is what a lot of people are missing right now as well. So that's very, very important. So we have the exercise, we have the way that we can cut down on calories, okay? We have the 24-hour reset, and we have an ability now of how not to have as many alcoholic beverages. And again, I use these things in my own life, okay? Sometimes I decide to have a drink. Sometimes I decide not to. Like last night, I was out with a bunch of friends, okay? We went out to dinner, great time. I started the same exact way. I was like, I'm just going to have soda water. I think I did cranberry and I did lime. Yes, that's what I did. And so when I did that, I was drinking it fairly slow, not even thinking. Again, I'm not thinking about it because I've been doing this for a while now. So it gets easier as you've been doing it. And by the time I finished that and other people were ordering already at my dinner, I'm like, no, not tonight. I just decided not to. And again, I allowed myself the option to. I'm not depriving myself of anything. At that point, though, I had just decided not to. That's the way it is. So one more thing I want to leave you with is this. Is one of the best ways. So this is something that I always lean back to traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. I always lean back to that because I understand that the reason we get overwhelmed, overburdened, stressed, overweight, all these things during the holiday and sick is because we push too far in one direction. So with all of the hustle and the bustle and the calls for our time, right? The amount of stress and the activities and try to fit everything in, what do we need more of? Well, if everyone is always asking for our time and that's always being pulled from our body, that's being pushed down way too hard on one side of the scale. That means the only way to push back with a little bit more is a little bit more us time, a little bit more quiet time, and a little bit more alone time. So what does that mean? It simply means, again, as I've talked about in the past, getting back a little time in your own morning. Maybe at lunch is maybe your time. Maybe you're not scheduling as many lunch with coworkers. Maybe you said, I'm going to go for a walk at lunch. That's one of the reasons why I do go for walks during lunch. And it is typically 4 or 5 times during the week by myself. And the reason that is this. I'm with people from essentially 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., maybe 12:30 or 12 o'clock, yes. And then after that, I'm taking some me time. And then after that, I'm right back with people. So what I'm trying to do is simply get that balance, get a little bit of my time back. Not selfishly. Honestly, every time I found that I get a little time away, just a little bit of quiet, I come back better for everyone else that may need me. That's simply it. So whenever you think that you're doing selfish things for yourself, remember, this is a cultural-based thing where we've been told that it's selfish. It's not. We need our own quiet time. We need our own scheduled alone time so that we can be that much better when other people basically require us. And they do. They require our attention, right? Especially family and friends and those types of things. And they want our attention at work as well. So what I'm saying to you right now is the way to get out of that fight or flight, the way to get out of that sympathetic nervous system from a medical perspective is to move into the rest and relax. And the best way to do that is, yes, formally through meditation, through hatha yoga, which you could absolutely continue to do those classes, maybe infrared sauna, maybe some nice gentle massage, some self-massage if you want, an Epsom salt bath. These are all great ways, some of them with people, but quiet time, that we can start to get a little bit of us time back. And that would be a huge tip and a huge takeaway, because maybe you've never thought about that before. And maybe you haven't thought about it from the perspective that if you're always giving, you actually need to get a little bit back yourself. Because if you are always giving, you're always giving out all of your energy as well. And the only time you get that energy back actually is when you just start to simmer down, get a little quiet time, a little bit of deprivation from sensory, stimulus. And that means quiet time. The hatha yoga, like I said, the sauna, the massage, the quiet meditation. Maybe it's just reading. Maybe it's listening to a podcast by yourself, or what I do, my fallback. Why? Because no matter where I am in the world, I can walk outside the hotel room, I can walk outside my home, I can walk outside my office, and I can walk. And that's why for me, quiet time, breathing in nature, or even if I'm in the city, breathing in all of those things, just putting my headphones on, that is my time to basically decompress. And I'm telling you right now, everything that I spoke about today was about finding balance. If you're eating more and you had a really big cheat meal, well, maybe the next day is the 24-hour reset, okay? If you're pushing your body harder during the day and you're staying out later, well, we need more of the sleep. If we're going to be eating more calories, especially cheat-based meals and drinking alcohol, well, what we may want to do is eat a little cleaner that day, okay? Also, if we're going out and we're drinking alcohol, the only way that we can start to blunt that is to maybe do less of it. And so I gave you a little plan of how you can do less of it. Not less drinking, less alcoholic beverages as well, because you can do non-alcoholic. You can try it. Just try it. I'm telling you, it's not that bad. So these are all tips that I'll be trying to live myself. Will I be perfect? Absolutely not. Do I expect you to be perfect? Absolutely not. What I expect, though, is you just to try. That's it. You just to try. And if you give it a little bit of effort, I'm telling you right now, you will see the results. You'll have more energy. You absolutely will. You won't gain the weight. You won't feel overstressed. You won't feel overburdened. And you won't feel bloated. So thank you everyone for tuning into another Cabral Concept. Appreciate each and every one of your listens. Hopefully today's show helped. This is actually a topic that people requested me talk a little bit more in depth on through our private Facebook group. And if you'd like to join that yourself, simply go to cabralsupportgroup.com. And we'd love to have you as a member sharing those positive vibes. Take care, everyone, and happy holidays. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.